Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's been an exciting week so far, and I mean that in a good way. Been doing a lot of flight testing and some maintenance. Carol's been on my case to get some videos out for you, so I managed to do that in the last few days, and she's managed to put them together already. So hopefully you'll love watching some of these. There are more flight videos now, and for those of you who like to see things from inside the cockpit, make sure you go to full screen when you're watching it there on YouTube. It's pretty clear, actually. So ahead of that, basically where we're at, pretty close to 20 hours now in the flight testing. Yes, it's been a lot of work. The weather has cooperated. Get up early in the morning, fly some cool flights for a little over 3 hours, actually, on multiple mornings now, and then 1 or 2 flights in the afternoons. Actually, we're making a lot of progress through those flight test cards. So one of the things you're going to see is all the various flight profiles in the next series of videos, and I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. Ahead of that, at 10 hours, I like to do some maintenance on the aircraft. So I think I mentioned early on the flight, after the first flight and subsequent flights, no oil notice, no leaks anywhere in the engine compartment. We have taken the top cowling off multiple times and checked all of that. It continues to remain dry. Oil burn has been almost negligible, quite surprising. It's less than a quart in 10 hours there for the first 10 hours. And then at 10 hours, I like to take it down and change the oil and check the filter and the screen for any metal contaminants. It was really nice, and the oil was nice and clean too. So that all worked out well.
What kind of oil did you put in?
And we put mineral oil back in it, so we're breaking it in on the Phillips Type M mineral oil 20W50. I will run that probably up through 25 or 30 hours, and then we'll go to the Phillips Cross Country 20W50. So some things I want to tell you ahead of the videos you're going to see here, and some things I did maintenance-wise. There's not been a lot to tweak on the airplane. I've been pretty excited with it, actually. It's been turn the key and go so far, so knock on wood. The only thing that really bothered me was I put the flap switch in a little different location on this one because we have larger screens. I have it right down next to my thumb on the throttle. I like to be able to reach over and pull the flaps up after takeoff and just kind of, touch them so they go down there without having to look around for a flap switch. Well, while I was doing the takeoff and landing series in different configurations, a couple times I noticed, I thought I was in a full flap mode here, and I noticed I'm landing with no flaps. And sure enough, I looked over and my knee had been bumping the flap switch. So at least I figured that out. It was me. And so you'll see the picture. Carol's probably going to put it in the video for you, but I did create a nice little guard there, and that went away. So I was able to complete all of the series. So that part, that's really basically the only maintenance that we've had to do, trying to clean it. After 20 hours, did wipe down the belly today, and not much there. So again, real pleased with that.
One other thing, the cylinders.
Yeah, so, its engine is breaking in. It's still running a little warm, but I'm pleased with it. I can go do a whole series of takeoff and landings, and the cylinder head temps or the oil temp just stay kind of in the normal range. But still a little warm, at least from what I'm used to. And, the last engine had almost 1,600 hours on it, so it was well broken in, and temperatures were much lower. So, but one of the things I had forgotten to do when I installed the engine, if you look at the casting of the cylinder fins, the air, these are air-cooled engines. The air comes in, goes down through the cylinders. If you look down with a flashlight, and I think we've got a picture here to show you, you can see the casting doesn't quite get cleaned out really well. What does help is to take a file in there and take the time to clean out between all of those fins right by the spark plug, so you know what I'm talking about. If you just look straight down in your cylinder there, and that actually dropped the cylinder head temps on climb out by about 15 degrees. So it really does make a difference. So I would encourage you all to think about doing that. I've done it on all the other engines. I just kind of forgot about it this time. So as soon as I saw those high temps, the bell went off and I got that finished. So in this first one, what you're going to see is a normal takeoff, which is a soft field takeoff out of our home airport here, because it's a grass runway. So I always do a soft field takeoff. Quite candidly, I always do a soft field takeoff because I like to get the nose tire off the ground. I know the guy who has to do the maintenance and change out the tires, so I don't want to wear it out. The RV-10 actually works, it does really nice takeoffs without an aggressive rotation there. Just keep the stick back when you add power. It'll roll down the runway and then the nose wheel will come up and you just hold it there and then the RV-10 will fly off very, very nicely. And you just hold that same climb attitude all the way to top of climb. It works out real well. So again, you're going to see a normal takeoff out of our home field here at Mallard's Landing. And then I'm going to show you a fully coupled ILS. That's an instrument landing system approach. And this is one of the flight test cards to make certain that all the avionics work with approaches. So in this case, we're going to do it fully coupled. That means the autopilot is doing the flying. Now, for those of you who are sharp-eyed, you're going to see, why is his hand on the stick all the time? I will tell you my hand's on the stick all the time when the autopilot's on, especially a new airplane. I never trust a new airplane until it has at least 100 hours on it. So I'm guarding things all the time. And you know, when you're doing an instrument approach, you're coming down the glide slope there, you're getting pretty close to the ground. You certainly wouldn't want the autopilot to fail or get an electric trim run away. All kinds of scenarios there. You want to be guarding the stick and the power levels as much as possible. And one other thing I'll say ahead of time, you're going to notice the N number call sign. And my apologies. We've gone, I think, 30 years with Victor Charlie on the tail end of our call signs. And this one is Charlie Victor. Carol decided she wanted her name first this time. So anyway, you'll see or hear in the videos, I'm still mixing up Charlie Victor and Victor Charlie. My apologies. I'm trying to do better at it. So I think that's it. Enjoy the video, and we got a couple more lined up for you.
All right, here we go. Morning takeoff. Full fuel, 82 gallons. Normal takeoff.
Angle, push. Angle, push. Laps. Laps. Laps.
All right, flaps are up. Normal climb. Okay, it would help if I plugged the audio in. Hopefully it's working now. So one of the things I've done this morning after takeoff is, first off, you'll see some pictures of the cylinder head temps. I removed some flashing, some casting flashing between the fins of number 2 and number 6 that were running hotter than all the others. And that really made a difference in the climb. The temps were down about 20 degrees max. And in cruise now, they're much better matched to the other cylinder. So that was a success. All right, so what we're going to do here is go to Thomaston and do a fully coupled ILS approach. So we've got direct to Thomaston here. We're going to pick the ILS for 30. We're going to go to SINFO, which is the initial approach fix. And then we're going to turn outbound. We'll do a course reversal. So we're going to hit activate the approach. We're going to see it on the map here. This shows us going now out to SINFO. A course reversal inbound for the ILS. The Avidyne has preloaded the inbound localizer glide slope frequency. We can listen to it, get the identifier. the advanced flight systems, we'll pull up the approach plate for runway 30. We'll show that the inbound course is 121. Sorry, 301. We're going to go to Sinfo, and we got to stay above 2,600 feet until we're turned inbound. So we're at 3,000 feet here. We're showing 6 minutes to get to Sinfo. You can see showing on the approach plate here. That's pretty cool. We can choose whatever map we want here on the advance. So this all looks good. This matches what's in the flight plan. Info, hold, and we will cancel the hold once we go into it. So we go directly in and do the ILS. So we'll do a pause here till we're turning northbound. All right, we're getting close to Sinfo here now, the initial approach fix before we turn outbound. We're about 2 minutes out. We're going to listen to the identifier. There we go, 2 dots. Okay, so we do have the identifier now. We know the glide slope is valid and the localizer is valid and our radios are all working properly. So we're getting ready to turn outbound here. We turning outbound, we're going to go down to 2,600 feet now. There's no traffic in the area out here at Sinfo. Thompson area traffic, RV-10 Victor Charlie. We're about 5 to the east. We're going to be turning outbound at Sinfo for an ILS 30, Thompson. All right, we're going 46 minutes away from Sinfo now, and we should turn outbound and do a airdrop entry back into Sinfo, and then we will look at the flight plan here, and we will not hold at Sinfo.
We're going to be landing on the opposite runway.
We'll be watching for you. We'll either go around and enter 1-2, or we'll make a full approach if we're not in your way.
Do you want us to call 911 for y'all?
All right, here we are. We're going into the hold. We're going to now slow down. Normal holding speed is around 120 knots, is what I normally use. So we're going to... Usually around 18 or 19 inches of manifold pressure will give us that. We're level at 2,600. All our lights are on. Got some inbound traffic here that's substantially higher.
214 Golf 2, turning left base, runway 9er, full stop, timeout.
Alright, we are turning outbound here. And this is a fully coupled approach. We're completely checking the systems in the aircraft at this time. This is part of a flight test card.
Inbound, straight in for ILS runway 4 Douglas. My traffic side 214 Golf Zulu, turning final, runway 9er, full stop, timeout.
County traffic citation 4,
So now the Avidyne says exiting the hold at the fix. So there's nothing we need to do on the Avidyne. If we wanted to hold, if ATC told us to hold, we would hit the continue hold button here. And it would hold as published here at the initial approach fix. All right, we're still navigating GPS, so we have magenta needles. Once we turn inbound and we're aligned with the final approach course, you can see the Avidyne is set up to go from GPS to VLOC. So that's vertical guidance and the localizer, which is the ILS in this case. Here we are, right at 120. So 19 inches and 120 work very well. That's a good approach speed in the RV-10. ATC may want you to go faster sometimes if you're going into a busy airport. No problem with that.
County traffic citation 479.
And once inbound, I do take the flaps out of reflex. We break out at minimums, it just gives us a little shorter runway length to use there. All right, you can see we're going direct to Sinfo. We are going to exit the hold. That's confirmed again.
Traffic. Small 46 Mike is about 5 miles to the east. Will be crossing over to the left down runway 4 Mulford.
Temperatures and pressures are good. We're going to come down with flaps out of reflex. Flaps are out of reflex. We should be turning now. And then we should go to green needles. So we're going to turn inbound. Altitude is still good at 2,600. We can look at the approach plate.
6.5 miles to the northwest, 1,700,
2,500 will be Pumo, will be our last altimeter check. We just got green needles and a glide slope armed. Our inbound course is set at 301. Verified that. That's automatically loaded from the Avidyne to the AFS. So now we'll watch the hit Pumo, and we are 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from Pumo. At Pumo, we should have glide slope captured, and at 2,500. That's our last altimeter check here on final. We have minimum set. Minimums here are 1,016. So we're going to touch here and put 1016. It should round it up to 1020. It did, so 1,020 is our minimum descent altitude. I will go back to map mode here. We can see where we're at. Sometimes what I'll do is put up the approach plate right in front of me here. The capability of the advance is just really, really nice. So right now we're a little over 5 miles out. Thompson area traffic. RV-10 is on the ILS. We're 5 mile final. Runway 30 Thompson. All right, glide slope is armed. Watch for the glide slope to start to come down here. We're on localizer, looks good, confirmed with the track. Also confirmed visually, we're doing all these approaches in visual conditions. You can actually see the runway from here.
You guys got firing from Delta turn left down runway 1350.
We have glide slope movement here. It's saying glide slope is captured now on the EFIS. So now once we point down at Pumo, we should be at 2,500 at Pumo, and right now we're showing we're 1.3 miles from Pumo. So we'll reduce our power at Pumo, so we go down, say somewhere around 120. I don't see anybody in the pattern, nor have I heard anybody. There we go. Now it says glide slope is captured. So we will look for 2500 right when we cross Pumo. There we go. Cross Pumo, 25, we've started down. As I said, we're reducing power. And now we should just watch the aircraft track the glide slope and the localizer. Right now we're dead centered. And we're going to let traffic know we're about a 3-mile, 4-mile final. Thomaston area traffic, RV-10, 3-mile final, runway 30, Thomaston. All right, and we are going to make this a full stop approach.
Runway 28.
Nobody's in the pattern. And we'll taxi back for a normal takeoff and landing. Oh, this should have us breaking out.
8-mile final, runway 29, RNAV 29.
This will have us breaking out at 200 feet, typical ILS. We have 1,000 feet to go. Runway is in sight. Thomaston area traffic, RV-10 is a 1.5 mile final, 30 Thomaston. There's 1,300 feet. We've got 300 feet to go on the glide slope.
500.
200 feet, there's our 500-foot call out. On glide slope, within 1 dot. On localizer.
400.
And we should get a minimums call out.
300.
And another 100.
Catcher 025 kilo, turn left base, runway 28, Thompson traffic. Concord traffic, night train 278, 5-mile final, runway 29.
See, we're in flap speed, so now I can bring the flaps down.
100.
That's a beautiful instrument approach, fully coupled. And we're touching down, just 500 feet past the numbers. Right in the touchdown zone. That advanced stuff coupled with the Avidyne is just absolutely wonderful. So we'll go back and do a takeoff here, a normal takeoff. Actually, we'll try short field takeoff. We've done a bunch of normal takeoffs already. All right, we're going to do a short field takeoff here. So we've got half flaps. The trim is set. Fuel pump is on. Temperatures are all in the green. We're going to go to full power before brake release. Oh, here we go. Okay, and we're again using half flap. So full power, going to wind it up. Brake release. And we'll watch for the there we are, about 600 feet maybe on the ground roll. And now we're going to climb at best rate, which we've determined to be 95. So we're going to get the flaps up. And normally what I'll do is once we got the nose has disappeared, I'll bring the prop back to 2500 and the nose down to 110. And we get good cooling and good visibility over the nose with the RV-10.